everyone, I'm Olivia and welcome back to my channel. I haven't posted on here in a while, but with all of these new updates on Royale High, I had to make a new video. And for today's video, I'm going to be ranking the 6 new realms in Royale High from worst to best. And the features of each realm I'm going to be using to judge is going to be the puzzles, the overall aesthetic of the map, and overall how enjoyable it was to play through each realm. So without further ado, let's get started. Number 6. So for number 6, I went with the Dark Fairy realm. I really love this opening room that leads into the actual realm right here, and I think it's probably the best part of the whole realm itself. Once you go through the portal, I feel like the map is really lacking in detail. Even when you look up at the moon, it's not even super clear. I just thought this was really empty and there could have been a lot more put in here. The tightrope concept here is really cool, however, I wish there was something underneath the rope because with the don't look down sign, obviously we're gonna look down and there's just nothing there. Same thing with the swing, I think it's such a cool idea, I just wish there was more here, especially with this long thing that says it might be broken. I just feel like there could have been more effort put into it and that it's just missing something. The next part here with the quiz questions was pretty standard. The questions were pretty cool, but it didn't really set itself apart from the other realms. It just felt kind of basic. I think we can all agree though that the next part here where you jump off the cliff to become a Dark Fairy is the most iconic and funny part of this whole Dark Fairy realm, and I'll put the music on so you can hear it. Anyways, here are my final thoughts on the Dark Fairy realm. I feel like there were a lot of missed opportunities on the map itself and that there could have been so much more added. All of these little course thingies felt like I was in Divergent trying out to be part of Dauntless, and I really was hoping for more. But regardless, on to the next one. Number 5. The realm that I chose for the number 5 spot was the Fire realm. Already, the map is so beautiful and I feel like it's 10 times better than what the Dark Fairy realm was. Not only this, but I did appreciate that there were some really cool puzzles in here that the Dark Fairy realm lacked. This one right here was my favorite. It reminded me of the floor's lava, which I thought was really cool and thematic. The quiz section here is pretty standard, just like the Dark Fairy realm. However, I will say, for some reason unknown, I have a deep-rooted hatred for this last part of the quiz section where you light all 3 of the torches. For some reason, it just annoyed me that you have to manually light all 3 instead of where in the other realms there's just an answer choice that says all of the above. I don't know, maybe I'm just weird, but that kind of annoyed me. Coming up on this next puzzle right here, it was definitely a highlight because of how difficult it was, at least for me, as you can tell from these multiple attempts, but I really enjoyed having a difficult puzzle like this. Now this last section here is the reason that I have the Fire realm at number 5 and not higher on the list. I just hated how bland this whole thing looks. They could have done so much more. And I felt like just like with the Dark realm, it was lacking. It looked too similar to the Nature realm design with the tree. I just feel like there was a missed opportunity here and I so wish they would have done something cooler. Aside from that though, I absolutely love the Fire realm. I think it is so amazing aesthetically, the map is so more than beautiful. And it was so fun playing through it. I loved these little obbies here. The only thing that annoyed me was this little tree looking thing. Ugh, I wish they would have done something different. But other than that, it is so beautiful and we will now be moving on to number 4. Number 4. Number 4 on my list is going to be the Nature realm. And I know that Nature is a fan favorite for a lot of the Royale High player base, and I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for its placement here. I promise I will defend myself, and I love the Nature realm too. Just like with the Dark Fairy realm, I feel like the Nature realm kind of peaked in its beginning. This beginning area right where I was at is so beautiful, and I feel like once you go into this tree, everything starts to be lackluster. I don't know what it is about this tree. Maybe it's because it reminds me of the April Fool's update and going up the tower because I was awful at it. But I just don't really like this whole setup. I wish it was different. I wish there would have at least been more detail put into the surrounding area of the tree. I don't know. The constant fear of falling down and starting over, paired with the weird looking decorations in here. I feel like the other ones, it was a missed opportunity for this to be the majority of the map. I wish there would have been more. Aside from that though, I love the details they did add into this. The butterflies are beautiful. I love the little bee area. Everything is awesome. And then once you get outside of the tree, it's beautiful. They could have added some stuff around the tree other than the stars, but it's still so beautiful. Once you climb this ladder here, you've reached the end of the Nature Fairy Realm map. And my overall thoughts on the Nature Fairy Realm is that it's beautiful, but I wish more of the map would have been outside the tree or going on the tree in a different way. I don't know, I really loved the outside of the realm right before you go into the portal to enter it, and I wish that the rest of it could have looked like that in some type of way with a little pond and all the lily pads. Maybe I'm just obsessed with that room in general, but I don't know. That's why it's on number 4 for me. I apologize to those who wanted to see it higher up on the list. You are so entitled to your opinion. Please don't hate me. And after all of that, we are now going to move on to number 3. Number 3. So number 3 on my list is going to be the Light Fairy Realm. And just like with the Nature Fairy Realm, I'm expecting tons of backlash for the Light Fairy Realm's placement on my list. It was really hard for me to come to the decision of putting Light Fairy as number 3 and not higher up on the list. It's my personal favorite in terms of the overall aesthetic. I chose Light Fairy for my first element. I'm so obsessed with it. I just couldn't put it any higher for the reasons I'm about to tell you now. My first reason for this placement is because I feel like the puzzles were very repetitive. I would have loved to have more types of minigames other than this one right here. Here's me falling off of the cloud because of the diamond thing popping up on my screen. I just wish there was more variety in terms of the minigames instead of getting this cloud multiple times. I did, however, really appreciate the difficulty of these cloud minigames, how they turned invisible or you had to jump from side to side. I did like that element of difficulty. Here is me forgetting that this is actually a minigame and that I can't just stroll up the stairs. I thought I would include that. Once you do get up these stairs, it's pretty much the end of the realm. I really wish that the actual map wasn't so straightforward. It almost felt like a reskin of the Dark Fairy Realm, or vice versa, to be honest. It was very straightforward, the stairs led you exactly where you need to go, and there wasn't much to explore outside of that little area. Overall though, I love the aesthetic of this realm, and I wish they would have added some more because it is so beautiful. This is definitely one of the best looking maps aesthetic wise in all of Royale High in my opinion, and I hope you won't hate me so much for this placement on the list. Regardless, we are now moving on to number 2. Number 2. The number 2 spot on my list is actually going to the Water Realm, and I'm sure that this is a shock to many people. I don't know if it's a very popular opinion on here. I just found it to be so spectacular. That beginning room is so beautiful, and I think it's tied with the Light Fairy Realm for the most beautiful entrance room. This room here though, where you have to do this quest and find 10 seashells, I think is a highlight of all of the realms. It's so unique, it's so different from the minigames in all of the other realms, and it's actually super fun to complete, aside from me finding a glitch and falling out of the entire universe. Aside from that though, I think this realm has some of the best quality out of any of them. It might have been one of the first ones the devs started working on just because of what looks to be the amount of time put into it. Everything is so beautiful, there's so many details that I feel like were lacking in the other realms, and I love it so much. The quiz section of this realm was pretty standard, just like the other ones, but I feel like the only difference was I found this one to be more aesthetically pleasing and more detailed than the other ones. I think we can all say that the coolest part of the realm though is this swan dive. I feel like it gave us what the Dark Realm jump didn't. It's so beautiful, it's so majestic, and it's the coolest part, and it leads us to the end of our realm here. Overall, I feel like the Water Realm is such a step up from the other ones in terms of aesthetics, and not only that, but the innovation of the mini-games themselves. The seashell hunt was so unique, we don't have anything like it in the other realms, and overall it's so beautiful everywhere. It's fun to complete, you don't really get lost even though there's a lot around you, but it's not straightforward enough where you feel confined. This is so beautiful, I think it's such an improvement and definitely worked on for longer than the other ones. And now that I've talked about how much I love the Water Fairy realm, we are going to move on to our realm that takes the number 1 spot. Number 1. The realm that's on our number 1 spot for the list today is going to be the Ice Fairy realm. Just like with our last 3 picks, I feel like this one will definitely be an unpopular opinion. One reason I think that might be the case though is simply because people don't tend to choose ice as one of their first few elements, so they just haven't experienced it yet. And just like with water, the ice realm has a super unique minigame part of it that is super hard to ignore. Adding an ice maze here was such a creative idea, not only because it's fun to actually complete, but there's also a chest in here that you can only open if you have the fire ability unlocked, which is super cool. I also really admire that the ice maze wasn't all that the Ice Fairy realm has to offer. Once you complete it, there's still more to do. This was something that was lacking in the nature realm, where once you got out of the tree, the realm experience itself was over. So I really appreciated that the ice maze wasn't all that you could do in this realm. And not only this, but unlike some of the other realms like Light and Dark, there's a lot more you can explore outside the immediate vicinity of the mini games. You can fly around, there's ice sculptures, there's a castle. It's so beautiful, and it's not just a straight line. There's a whole atmosphere here, and I really admire that, and that's the main reason why I put it at the number 1 spot. Overall, the Ice Fairy realm is perfectly balanced with elements that the other realms lacked, and is perfect for people that are just trying out Royale High and choosing their first element. And with all that being said, this brings us to the end of the video. I hope all of you enjoyed this perspective of mine in terms of all of the realms. I'm sure we all have different opinions on whether or not one realm should be placed over the others. I'd love to hear all of your versions of a tier list for the realms. Feel free to put them in the comments, as well as any suggestions for videos that I could make in the future. I hope all of you enjoyed this video, and have a great rest of your day. Bye!